Welcome everyone to the new classes of media laws and ethics. Let's see what new we can learn.
Today, in the class of Media Laws and Ethics, we will know about Press and Regulation of Books Act 1967. So, in this, we will get to know about the law, the objective of law, how the history was made, meaning of the few vocabs of this law, important prohibition of this act. Then we will know about RNI, and number 7 is punishment. What the law is about. It was a regulatory law which enabled government to regulate printing presses and newspaper by a system of regulation and to preserve copies of books and other matter printed in India. What is the objective of this law? The act has been introduced to regulate printing presses and newspaper. It provides for the preservation of copies of books and newspaper printed in India and for the registration of such books and newspaper. The law appeals to the whole of India. What is the history of this law? The Press and Registration of Books Act 1867 is the oldest of the existing press law in India. One has to take his mind back to the second half of the 19th century to understand that the foreign government wanted to put a curb on the press in India. It felt that freedom of press would result in weakening the roots of the foreign rules. Almost all national leaders used their newspaper to arouse a feeling of nationalism in the people, to prepare them for participation in the struggle for freedom. Many of them suffered imprisonment. The leader had a comparatively easy life, but lesser moral were sent to the Andamans to serve their sentence. So, after looking towards a pathetic horror scenario, then after that we got this law. So, according to this law, in part 1, we came across lot of abbreviations, a lot of not abbreviations, lot of meanings. According to this act, book includes every volume, part of division of a volume and pamphlet in any language, and every sheet of music, map, charts, or plan separately printed. Editor means the person who controls the section of the matter. So in this we come to know what is book. Book is included with every volume, part of the division of a volume, pamphlet in any language, and every sheet of music, map, chart, or plan separately printed. What is editor? Editor means the person who controls the selection of the matter that is published in a newspaper. Right? Then comes the newspaper. Newspaper means any printed periodical work containing public news or comments on the public news. Then comes the paper. Paper means any document including a newspaper other than a book. Then press registrar means the registrar of newspaper of India for India appointed by the central government. It includes any other person appointed by the central government to perform all or any of the function of the press registrar. Printing. Printing includes cyclostyling, cyclostyling and printing by lithography. Then comes the important prohibition of this act, which is written in part 2. Every book or paper printed within India shall have printed legibly on it the name of the printer and the place of the printing. And if the book or paper be published the name of the publisher and the place of the publication. Number 1. Number 2. If the place where the press is kept in charge, a new declaration is needed, provided that where the change is for a period not exceeding 60 days and the keeper of the press continue to be the same. Number 3. Name of the person who is the editor should be printed clearly on the copy of the newspaper. The printer and the publisher of every such newspaper shall appear in person or by agent authorized should make the following statement. The statement is like this: I, XYZ, declare that I have a press for printing at, we have to write at what place you have that printing press. Then comes, every declaration shall specify the title of the newspaper, the language in which it is to be published, and the periodicals of the publication. It is must. When the printer or the publisher of the newspaper is not the owner, the declaration shall specify the name of the owner too. Number 7. A new declaration will have to be made with every ownership change. The same goes for the place of printing and publication. Number 8. Every owner of the press must make a declaration before the district, metropolitan, subdivisional magistrate of that area. Every printer shall deliver the copies of the book or newspaper or periodicals with memorandum containing the letter, the title, page, language, periodicity, and all related information to the public library free at his cost. So these were the prohibition made by the Act. Registrar of Newspaper. Under Section 19A in 1955 was inserted in this Act. What was inserted? Registrar of Newspaper. According to the prohibition of this section of the central government created an office and post of Registrar of Newspaper for India, that is known as RNI, at New Delhi. What are the functions of RNI? Let's get a glimpse. Number 1, RNI are to verify titles of the newspaper, magazines on the basis of application, allot registration numbers and issue certificate to the paper, magazine, etc. Number 3, issue revised certificate and duplicate registration certificate as and when necessary. Number 4, verify the claims of the circulation of the newspaper. Number 5, receive the annual statement for registered paper of India, compile those and publish an annual report for submission to the government. Number 6, allocate newsprint to the newspaper. Number 7, help the paper in import of printing, composing machines and allied machines. What are the punishment? Whosoever shall edit, print or publish any newspaper without following the rules laid down is liable to be punished with fine of not less than 2,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months or both. Number 2, if any person who has ceased to be a printer or publisher of any newspaper fails or neglects to make a declaration shall be punished by fine not exceeding rupees 200. That's all was for the lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.